As an operator, you're always overlooked when it comes to how much work and stress you carry in a business. You're like the glue that keeps it all together. When people are struggling, they come to you. When people need something, they come to you. And when your CEO is bitching, they come to you. So why have COOs never gotten the praise that they deserve? Well, you are now one of the most valuable assets to building an AI first business. Your time is now, and I'm going to show you in this video why operators are so valuable. But before we get into this, I'm going to be saying this in every video. I am running a challenge for myself in the month of February to post 196 plus unique pieces of content across all of my socials using an AI system that I've built. This is a challenge to prove it's possible and to show how posting that much content could change the trajectory of your business. To follow along, like and subscribe. I'm going to continue to put out content like this, and head over to my Instagram page and direct message me 196 to be one of the first to get the exact system once the month is completed. Now you've clicked the like and subscribe button. Let's jump into it. COOs, operators, it is your time. You ready for it? It is your time. You have the golden ticket. Why are COOs and operators so uniquely positioned? They understand businesses at the deepest level. They understand everybody within the businesses, the processes, the strategies, the frameworks, the SOPs. They understand it all. They have the ability to take very complex systems and simplify them, connecting all the pieces together, which is a very, very difficult task. AI is a lot like operations. It really is. Understanding how your team works, understanding how what they're supposed to be doing every single day, who's supposed to pass to who, all of these things, like an assembly line, is you being the conductor to be able to make sure that these things get done and get done properly. You have to continue to deal with this chaos. You have to continue to deal with people. You have to continue to deal with the stress. You have to continue to deal with the vision. You have to continue to do all these things. You're putting out fires. You're dealing with your CEOs. But again, like I was saying, you just never really get the credit. So I'm going to be saying this because I truly believe it. I really do. That if you do not have an operator, I highly, highly recommend getting one because they are going to be extremely valuable. And if you do have an operator, you need to sit down with them and really give them a hug, or you have to shake their hand, plus give them the tools to allow them to turn your business into the AI first business that you want it to be. In other videos, I've broken down the water bucket, where I'm going to use black, the water bucket. I did this in a past video where there's cracks along the way and the vision keeps filling in, water's leaking out, all this fun stuff. Talk about this, not going to go through it again. Go back and watch the other video to understand what I'm talking about. The difference between this video and the last one, though, is really diving into the processes side of it. Because you and your CEO are sitting down, you're going through all this stuff, you're trying to figure out how to actually break these things down. So within these processes, within an actual department or role within a business, you have a handful of things. You've got strategies. Strategies. Can never spell that one. 2, you've got frameworks. You've got SOPs. You've got information that needs to go in. This could be like for customer success. What is all the product and service information for your business? All of this stuff. You have all this stuff as well. So I'm just going to put information in here. All of this stuff is extremely valuable to setting up your AI system per role or responsibility within the business itself. You have the ability for each one of these to go through and work on them with each of the people within your company so you can set up the AI systems for them, which in the other video as well, the 4-part, there's your inspiration, or your input. There's your agent or prompt. I'm just going to repeat this one quickly again, but I go through it in another video. There's your human in the loop, which is the experts in these actual seats itself. And then 4, there's your output, which the people in these seats also know what that output is supposed to be. So you understand the processes for everybody in the business on a super granular level. Now what you're trying to do is, how do I take these processes and turn it into an AI system? Well, this is what we're going to be able to do. And I'm going to erase this bucket because we don't want to see this again. So when you're setting up an AI system, you've got your LLMs. Great. We all know what these are: your ChatGPTs, your Claudes, your Geminis, all these fun things. These things don't change, and you're going to need them. The big thing with it is you're going to have different buckets of information. You're going to have, and I talk about this in other videos as well, where you're going to have knowledge where it knows about your strategies. You're going to have documents where it understands your frameworks. You're going to have SOPs in some cases that are essentially, if you look at an SOP and a prompt, there are a lot of similarities between them. I don't mean the fact where you're copying and pasting an SOP and it's going to be a prompt, but an SOP tells a human what to do every single day. Follow these steps, go and do the work. A prompt, as granular as you need to be, speaking to a grade 5, actually speaking to a 5-year-old is even a better way of looking at it. This is what you need to do for agents as well. So this is where number 2 and SOPs are where there's a lot of similarities in here. I'm going to get back to the strategies and frameworks and how that comes into play. And then you've got like your information. So information, which is your inspiration, number 1. So this is feeding it the information. This could be client information. This could be sales transcriptions. This could be marketing. This could be all of these. This could be in like hiring. This could be like a resume that comes through. This is your inspiration that goes to the SOP, which then goes through your strategies and frameworks. So the big thing with these AI processes, you need to train these agents here at step 2 on your strategies and frameworks for each one of the buckets, the roles and responsibilities on the actual bucket itself. So for marketing purposes, this one's an easy one to digest sometimes. When you're writing content, there's hooks. Typically, people have certain frameworks and strategies for hooks. Then you've got body, then you've got call to action. Each one of these, people have different strategies. Hooks are extremely, extremely, extremely important. We know this as business owners and as marketers. So it's like, if you have a strategy, you train the agent on those strategy. So when you feed it the information, it follows the SOPs, and then make sure that it uses your strategies and frameworks every single time. This is the process that it needs to go through. Then it does your output. I'm just going to put down here your output again, where you know that this is the final output that you're trying to accomplish. Just like when you're hiring somebody, I like to explain this one all the time. You're hiring somebody into a business and you're going to get them to write a client email, for an example. So I need you to write an email for this client. Here's the client information. Follow this process, SOP. Before you send it, make sure that I can review it. Output. This is the same process that I've got broken down here on the iPad. So it's like, when you're training the agents, you have to think of, like, if you are hiring somebody into that role, what are the steps? What are they going to need? All of these things, your strategy, your frameworks, your SOPs, your information, this information is needed. And you train it into your AI system. So the person, the role and the responsibility can do more of that output without having to bring in more people. So your output becomes more with less headcount, less burnout, all this stuff. Guess what? The profit starts to grow. Where it becomes more and more valuable because you're the operator, you understand the processes, you likely built the processes for these people, you understand this four-part on building AI systems, because it's the same thing. I talked about this in the other video, like I mentioned. You're training the AI systems on your strategies, your frameworks, your SOPs, and the information, the inspiration that you're providing it to get the output that your business has done every single time you do this. You go through all the different departments from top of funnel, which is your marketing. This could be content, to a funnel, let's say, to sales, to onboarding, to fulfillment, to HR or hiring, because as your business grow, you may need to hire more people for more verticals, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. All of these things turn into, I'm going to erase these. The analogy, Henry Ford. You create the assembly line, each one along the way, stringing them together. This is what he did back in the day to revolutionize the way that we produce cars. And this is what you need to be able to do for your business. You need to revolutionize the way that your assembly line delivers the product or service that you're trying to do. So by going through those processes, understanding the strategies and frameworks, the SOPs, the information that needs to be collected, the output, studying those with the people in those roles and responsibilities, breaking down that four-part process to build these, each one of these people, one, their life becomes much easier because they can deliver the same quality output all the time for more people. So your business growing, bring on more clients, bring on more customers. But the passing the information from one to another, AI is a series of transformation of data. Everything that you do from one step to another, you transform it, you transform it, you transform it, because that's just what we do in business. You have to transform the data from one step to another to be able to get the output that you want for the results that you're trying to deliver. I know I'm repeating myself in this video, but it's extremely important I beat it into your heads because, again, it's not that complicated. The Henry Ford analogy is a really good one. The old business models are broken. And in a video coming up, I'm going to be breaking down the new business models of 2026 in the future on how I believe that they're actually going to be run. But starting with your operations, your assembly line, the processes, again, the strategies, the frameworks, the SOPs, the information in, the information out, setting up those four parts and slowly starting to optimize your new assembly line for your business will only create a flywheel for yourself to go and get more customers. Because you've got this AI system set up right, along this way, you're also collecting client and customer information that can help optimize the step before. This is called feedback loops. And then once it gets to the end, it's like, this person's extremely happy. Let's go and get more of those people. And you start again. This is where you start creating your flywheel. I've got some really exciting videos when it comes to this because this gets into bootstrapping 101. It really does. And there's some really exciting things that come from this. But operators have the ability to identify all of these problems in a business because that's what we're here for. You're going to remove the stress. You don't even have to deal with that stuff anymore. If you could remove that stress from yourself, so the system's optimized, so you don't have to deal with that stress. And the CEOs from the past video, they have the ability to understand how these things work. You're also going to have them stop bitching from you as well. You become the true glue and the center point for the business, which makes you dangerous. It really does. Because as the technologies progress, your life's going to get easier. The more that you understand these processes, the more that you understand each department, the more dangerous and valuable you become, not only for your business, but the future of what AI in this business does itself. It really does. Because the technologies will solve itself, but you have to be able to set up the foundation, and you are the main point for setting up that foundation to make sure everything runs and runs smoothly. So, like I was saying, this is a bit shorter of a video, but it's super important for operators to watch this, understand it. Comment below if you've got any questions. I'm happy to go back and forth with you. Is your goal is to create an assembly line of your business from one step to another. Transformation of data from one step to another, starting to create your flywheel. To do that, you need to break down the processes of all of the roles and responsibilities for each person along this assembly line. These are your strategies, your frameworks, your information, just repeating it one more time. Then putting that into the 4-part framework of building these AI workflows. From there, your business starts to grow. Your outputs become better. Your outputs continue to grow. Your profit continues to grow, and your life becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. I'm speaking out of experience because as a visionary at its core, I have been heavily focused on the operations side because I need to know these tools more than anybody. So I can be able to provide this information for you and to be able to help my team guide the expertise in their roles to be able to connect them all together. Because without that, you do not have a business. You do not have a business. End of story. Focus on these things, step back, start writing these things down, start working with somebody in your company who you do have a good relationship with, and start going through those processes together. And it's amazing how much this will unlock for you after you do a couple. It really will. That being said, like I mentioned in the beginning, I am doing 196 plus pieces of unique content this month of February. It's going to be raw, unfiltered. I'm blunt if you already haven't noticed. I'm going through this because I want to give you everything that you need to integrate AI the right way, but most importantly, build a business for the future, AI or not. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm putting out these videos, and to prove that it's possible. So be sure, like, subscribe, share this with a fellow operator, share this with somebody who wants to be an operator, and head over to my Instagram account, direct message me 196 so you can get first access to my content system that's helping me put all this content out at the end of this month. Operators, you are the most valuable piece in your company. I want you to know that. So, as always, stay dialed.